Whoops, made a boo boo. This is take two. I didn't hit the video button on there, so what came out naturally is now going to be sort of re-edited because normally nothing's going to come out the same way twice. Never, it's impossible actually. So let's do this a little again. What I was covering was access, clearances. Remember, Kim Glendon talked about clearances, access to records, right? So I'll just simplify this, and access to records is based really on a firewall, which is a shield, which is shield mechanics. So if you know how to light yourself on fire, and you know how to light yourself on fire because you serve on behalf of the one, which is a humble servant forever, you're on fire to serve, and I mean on fire to serve. That's why I loved Aurora when she gave me a thumbs up. That's exactly right. You're the source of energy. You're the highest accelerator of energy there is. The first star, cosmic level star. That's eternal, absolute love. That's right. And so when your clearance is not just the firewall, obviously, to protect records, crystalline records, cosmina records, but it's a measure of your clearance based on the purity of your light. And I don't like to use the word sadly, but what it does say as a testament to your training as a spiritual initiate, choosing, if you will, to take a spiritual pathway of learning through ancient ancestral knowledge that has been around forever, and we know that because that's what love is. And when you're experiencing what love is, you already know that. You don't need to be told that because you're experiencing that through your own heart and soul. So when you're on a spiritual battlefield dealing with finite light, dead light, knowing one from the other, it's critical. False light, false memories, real light, real love memories. So you know that love is the first creation, which is the first waveform, which is the first crystal, which is the first atom cell. So you know it began with the eternal spirit of fire, the first spark of life. So therefore we celebrate life with love and living spirit. That's dance and that's music. So it's the music that we play in spirit, which are the creation spheres that are naturally in harmony, rhythm, and balance, which means the bands, the waves, are in equilibrium states. They're not banging into each other. There are no distortions. That's mathematical and geometric perfection in the form and flow of that energy that creates the universe. That's what it means to have a mind that is perfectly balanced because you're experiencing the one and you're fully integrated. So to do harm to another, to do harm to yourself. Because that's what it feels like when you do that. That's what it feels like to be fully integrated in every neuron, every cellular living organism in the entire cosmos. So that your mic is fully open, which means God's listening, the first one. You're always with the one. So that's what it means to be a frontline heart shield. Shield up. So that firewall, which is your clearance, which is your cleanser, which is your polarity integration, which is getting rid of anything that you know that isn't what love is, because that's what the law is. So you're a humble servant of the law. So you honor the highest law without fail. So you've reached the state in which your consciousness can no longer be weaponized against yourself or to others. Therefore, every decision, every choice becomes your own. So you take full responsibility for anything that you experience that you've got to heal, including yourself. That means you've learned how to do that. That's why I've said in a couple of videos before, what I do to you, I do to me. Whatever you did to yourself is the same thing what I did to myself. I've got to look at you as what I got to do to repair me by what happened to you, by the virtue of the decisions that you made. Because somewhere along the way, that has a lot to do with teachers that lost their way. a unit of consciousness that lost her way. That's what happens with trauma and a virus. Trauma is a virus. So what that means is to restore your shield, to restore your spirit, to restore that fire is your ability to know how to do that, which is come back. No matter how much your heart and your soul has been beat down, being beat up over and over and over and over and over and over again, is our ability to still love them no matter what. They're always forgiven automatically. Because that's what eternal absolute love is. It's always there because you can't ever put that light out. So forgiving them is forgiving me because I'm experiencing what they are, which is just as much what I am. That's how it works when you're in polarity integrator oversoul. You're not disconnected from anything. You're everywhere. The light is. The real living light, the real McCoy. So when somebody does something to somebody else, but not to me, I still experience it. Which means somebody across the street could be harmed by somebody else that's not directed at me. I will experience exactly what that other being experienced. So that means it doesn't matter where that cell is. If it's experiencing trauma, I experience that trauma. I got to heal me to heal it. Otherwise, it's not restored back to eternity. Because that's what it starts with, because that's what I experience in me. So I had to remember when I was a little kid, knowing me. Knowing what I am. Because it can get confusing. Because if you're going to be a librarian and you're going to be a record keeper, a wisdom keeper, you're not going to get there if there is any doubt in your mind what you are. Because now you can't be trusted. And that trust, that level of clearance, is based on the purity of the light we're running. Naturally. That's right. It comes natural. That means natural energy can detect natural energy. That means you can't duplicate a key with this. That's why the records are permanent. That's called playing tricks. Right? So you see how this works as a result of fallen consciousness. And why we're all here. And why Shaidan said this is the final conflict drama. I don't know that I could have picked a better word. Do you? I called it the last dance. Yeah, Mama, the last dance. So anyway, I wanted to share that because I coupled it to the other one that I did earlier. But obviously, being on this island, and you know what a power index is, right? Yeah. And even just noticing the changes going into Hilo today, and the folks that live up in here, the changes of their behavioral patterns, if you will, is not the same. Not this is one of the reasons why when I was a child I don't stereotype, which is why I talked about labels and pins. Even when you self-organize libraries to be very efficient in the way that energy is organized, because we don't like to waste energy, because the form and the flow of the spiritual energy works so perfect the way that it is. Waste not, what not. But I don't. When you have arrived at a point of integration, everything else that is in the mirror becomes equal to what I am that I'm giving love to. And at that stage, you're in an equilibrium state. Zero. So everything that I experience is experiencing what I am, which is what love is. See how that works? And so I don't go around putting, you know how we like, I'm going to put you in bin number over here. I got a place for you. I'm going to put you over here in this library. right? Keep tabs on you. What's your number again? What's your biometric ID? Okay, we'll put you over here. Make sure you're all nice and organized so we can keep track of you and what you're doing. That kind of stuff. I don't do that, believe it or not, even though we run libraries. But what I'm talking about is that when you're on fire, you're experiencing the eternal spirit of fire because you have so much love to give away, you're not worried about nothing. And what that means is that everybody else that exists within the universe that is experiencing itself as energy and consciousness, right? I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. I don't have time to worry about all this other stuff that's going on simultaneously, right? Because you understand that's what trauma-based mind control is, to get you to use your energy to not have to protect yourself against something, right? Because they're not experiencing what love is, because control is born out of fear and not love. So when you're on fire, that's what you experience. You're always experiencing what you are, which is what love is. And that's what frees our spirit to create. Because there are no distractions, no broken arrows, and no broken circuits. That's right. And that means that everybody is experiencing the purest love there is through all the circuits. All the lines of communication are open. That means that the mic is fully open. A cosmic level transmitter is open and receiving the signal and broadcasting back. That means that the one is getting through all the lines of communication. I know, Mama. I'm experiencing it. You'd be. I wish I could turn my mic on this camera so you could hear what I'm actually hearing. It's powerful stuff. I'll leave you with that for the evening. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. All that good stuff. Be good to yourselves.